How can you start taking control of your finances if you're currently behind on bills? Where do you even start? If this is you, I'm betting that you are feeling completely hopeless and don't realize what an amazing future you can actually have for your family. The process of getting on top of your bills is actually not that complicated at all. Today, I'm going to show you step by step what you need to do to take control and get on top of your bills. Doing this is going to open your eyes to the potential you have for your family reaching some seriously amazing goals. Welcome back, Pearls. For those that are new around here, I'm Brittany and this is Pennies into Pearls. This is where you can come to find motivation, inspiration, and step-by-step directions to start taking control of your money, all while having fun along the way. Living on a budget isn't a bad thing. If you follow along here, you are going to learn that living a life on a budget is actually irresistible. If you want to quit living that paycheck to paycheck life and actually start achieving the amazing dreams you have for your family, you'll definitely want to click that subscribe button. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you're feeling suffocated from the bills that are currently piling up. You know, in order to make any progress towards your goals, you need to get on top of this. But where do you start? I know that you're probably feeling really lost. The steps we're going to chat about today to help you get on top of your bills aren't too complicated, so that's good news, right? That's because the theory behind them is simple. You can totally do this. But maybe you're getting stuck when it comes to figuring out how to work this strategy into your bills. How do you fit extra payments into an already tight budget? Don't let these questions paralyze you from progressing towards your freedom. In my online course, 30-Day Family Finance Rescue, I teach you how to tackle these obstacles, how to make sure that you are getting your finances set up, customized to your family's unique financial makeup and life events. If you tried to get this figured out before but keep falling off budget and are stuck living paycheck to paycheck, it's because you're starting in the wrong place. Your finances don't start with the numbers. It first starts with your money mentality, your attitude and habits that you have with your money. Then you need to figure out what your goals are for your family's future. This is the fun part. You need to dream big if you want to get anywhere. Finally, you need a financial action plan worked into a goal-based budget to ensure that you reach your dreams you have for your family. I don't want this to overwhelm you. I don't want you to feel like it's complicated. In my online course, I take you by the hand and show you how to do all of this. All of these vital steps are what is covered in 30-Day Family Finance Rescue. You can click the link down in the description box for more information or to sign up for the wait list if enrollment is currently not open. The doors for the course are only open a couple times a year, so you do not want to miss your chance to rescue your family's finances. Now, let's figure out what we're going to do for you when you're behind on your bills. I cover this more in depth in the course, but for the sake of YouTube and a 10-minute video, here we go. The first thing you need to do is start a budget. But remember, it's not a bad word. You first need to set a basic budget to give you a clear picture of what you plan to do with your money on a monthly basis. Yes, you're currently behind on bills. I know, that's what we're talking about, right? Which means you don't have enough income to cover everything, but let's get a plan set in place to take care of that for you. Now, don't stop watching. I know that using the word budget is such a red flag for so many people. A budget is not a bad word. It's actually very liberating. It means you get to tell your money what to do. To get you started, just do the basics, okay? What's your average monthly income? What are your average monthly expenses? How do the two compare? We'll talk more in a sec about tracking your spending, but right now, write out all the bills and expenses you will pay with each paycheck. So you pay a certain amount with this paycheck and these with this other paycheck. If you have uncovered expenses, write those in a separate list with amount due for each. You're going to use that as a reference as we move forward in this process, getting you on top of your bills. Now, the next thing you need to do is track your spending, and this kind of goes in hand in hand with the first part of setting your budget. Every time I suggest this step to our Pearls, she's always surprised at how much money she's unintentionally spending with her family. That means that she just swipes that credit card without much thought, and all of the small purchases add up crazy fast. The good news here is that this habit can be quickly corrected. Now that you have your budget set in place, stick with it. Use strategies like the cash envelope system and meal planning to help you do that. So to track your spending, you can use a free online program like mint.com, and there's a ton of other ones to track your spending for the last 3 months. Now, what categories can you cut back on your spending? You need to find room to create savings so you can put that savings towards getting current on your past due bills. When working towards worthwhile goals, like fighting your way out from living behind on your bills, you need to cut back on spending all the way to the basics. There are only just a few essential categories, and eliminating all other spending temporarily, remember you can bring it back in later, will drastically increase the amount of money available to go towards your past due bills. Here's what you can cut it back down to. A modest shelter, so that's like your rent or your mortgage, food, and if you use meal planning, that's gonna help a ton. Modest transportation, including gas, your basic clothing, and then utilities. All other spending really is not necessary and can be cut temporarily out of your budget. The next thing you need to do is you need to stop growing your debt. I'm not going to dive too deep on this, but you need to stop growing your debt. For goodness sakes, please, please, please stop using those credit cards. If you follow all the other steps, you're not going to need those credit cards anymore. Continuing to grow your debt while trying to get on top of your bills is only going to make the situation worse. You need to become more self-reliant in order to create a sustainable life for your family. Now you need to figure out how much cash you need to get current on your bills. So how much do you owe on overdue bills? Make a list of those bills that you're behind on and the amount that is past due. Depending on your unique situation, there might be some bills that need to be a priority to pay off first. An example of this might be if you're behind on your mortgage and you're in a dangerous situation of losing your home. In this case, this is the bill you want to start getting caught up on first. Otherwise, you can start paying back the bills with the smallest amount due first. This is going to help with your motivation as you see those bills being slashed off of the list and they get paid in full, and then you move on to the next one. All right, so I'm telling you to put extra money towards these bills, but you have a limited income. Where can you get some extra income? When you're behind on bills, you will need to find a way to temporarily increase your income. If you make it long term, like that's great too, but temporarily is kind of what we're shooting for at this moment. It's gonna take some hard work, and what's good is that you can do hard things. There are a few things that you can do to create extra cash to put towards your debt. The first and easiest way to do this, we kind of already talked about it, is to minimize your expenses. You even might need to get a little drastic on this step. Remember that in order to dig yourself out of these bills that you're behind on, it's going to take some sacrifices. But the good news is that these sacrifices can be temporary, just until you become more financially self-reliant. So it may be necessary for you to cut back drastically on your spending. Like I mentioned before, there are just a handful of expenses that are truly necessary. Housing, transportation, clothing, utilities, and food. The money you save from cutting back on all of that spending should go towards getting caught up on all of your bills. You have to go check out my first Pearl Life chat with Missy. Her and her husband made some major sacrifices in order to get out of debt, which is exactly what you're trying to do here. The next option to get some extra cash fast is to start selling your stuff. Now dig deep into your Marie Kondo self and get rid of anything that doesn't bring you joy and is just taking up space. Try not to be too sentimental. Sell what you can and use the cash to go towards paying off those bills. Every little bit adds up really fast. The last option would be to find additional income through a side hustle. I get really excited helping our Pearl students brainstorm different ideas on how to turn their hobbies into a way to bring in extra income to use towards their family goals. Sure, you could go get a side job at Target, but with the way the internet is today, there are literally millions of of different ways you can make money online. Different ways to make money from doing something that you think is fun and doing it at home. So let's get creative. Can you teach a skill through an online course? Can you make and sell something? Is there something you recently have been on the search for and can't find? Maybe you can fill that void. If you are passionate and willing to put in the hard work, you can make it happen. Now, another thing you need to do if you're behind on your bills is call and negotiate. It is important that throughout this entire process, you stay in contact with your companies you're trying to get caught up with. Even if it's just to let them know that you are working hard to get on top of what you owe them. Keeping a clear line of communication betters your chances for their leniency and patience with you. See if you can work out a new repayment plan with them, or maybe even negotiate a smaller interest rate. Maybe there's an option to waive the late fees or to even hold off on sending you to collections. Bottom line is, in most cases, they would rather work with you to get their money back than to pay someone else and prolong the process by using a third party. They just want their money. If you show them that you're doing your best and actually taking action steps to make that happen, they're going to be a lot more willing to work with you. Remember that you should always be polite. That's going to get you so much further, and make it clear that you are looking for a reasonable way to get them their money back. You're going to do this. You are going to get on top of your bills. But once you're there, you need to make sure that you avoid falling back again behind your bills. Look back and see what wasn't working that caused you to fall behind on your bills. What are some scenarios that might have occurred that led you to falling behind? What can you do to avoid that happening again? Or maybe what can you do now to prepare for when that does happen again? A huge safety net that will help you avoid getting behind on bills, again, is to build $1,000 to $2,000 emergency savings. Once you're current on your bills, make this your number one priority. Okay, are you feeling optimistic about your future? I really hope so, because you need to know that your future is bright. You just need to take the first step. Think of how much stress you're going to get rid of once you are no longer behind on your bills. I know you're feeling pumped, and I want you to keep that momentum going. So act on that right now. Don't crowd your mind with too many things. Start here. Start implementing the steps we just talked about. Do you have any questions? I am here to help any way I can. You can leave those questions down in the comments. And don't forget, for more in-depth and customized direction, you can sign up for my online course, 30-Day Family Finance Rescue. Links to my course will be down in the description. Also, let's chat in the comments about any other topics you're feeling struggles, or do you have any other fun video ideas that you want to see me covering? Leave those down in the comments as well. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye.